If I followed you around for a week, I think I could probably tell what you really care about by where your time, energy, and effort are going. You see, improvement in any area in life is not a mystery, it's very predictable. Every goal, from fitness to relationships to business, boils down to these three currencies: time, energy, and effort. Most people fail not because they don't know how, but because one of these currencies is being misspent. Every moment tests you, every action defines you. This is the prestigious initiative where mindset becomes muscle and character becomes legacy. I'm Chris Beane, martial artist, coach, and relentless believer in growth. If you're here to sharpen your edge, lead with integrity, and build a life that echoes beyond your years, you're home. You can find the podcast on social media at PrestigiousPod. You can find me at Chris Beane Official, and the email for the podcast is prestigiousinitiative@gmail.com. This is the Prestigious Initiative. Welcome. I'm Chris Beane. Again, today we're going to be talking about the time, energy, and effort currencies, right? These are the three things I think need to be in line to improve any area of your life. And we'll start with time. Time is the foundation. Time is the quantity of your intention. You can't shortcut the reps. If you have something that you want to get better at, you have to put the time in. You have to put the reps in to actually improve, right? You're never going to improve if you never really do the thing. So think about this. If you trained for 15 minutes every single day, that's going to far and away beat going to the gym or training or doing whatever it is for only 2 hours, one time per week. Time doesn't lie. Your schedule, the way that you spend your time, is the mirror. Here's a challenge for you, okay? And I'll give you a couple different versions of this challenge that you could do. The easy version, over the next week, track what you're doing every hour, right? So just have you can have an alarm go off on your phone. Okay, write down, I'm doing this for this hour. I'm doing this for this hour. If you want to get a little bit more granular, do every 30 minutes. If you really wanted to get all the way down to the nitty gritty, do every 15 minutes. And just track your time over the week. I think it's going to be really shocking for you to look back on that and see where your time is actually being spent to. The next thing is your energy, right? So if time is the foundation, energy is the multiplier. Energy, right? What do I mean by energy? Well, energy is the quality of your attention. You can have plenty of time, but no fuel. Right? If you're burned out, distracted, sleep deprived, emotionally drained, you're not going to have the energy to show up and do the things that you want to do the way that you want to do them. You're not going to have the output that you want. So improvement requires you to be recovered. It requires you to have focus and even a little bit of enthusiasm. Right? Those things are really important, especially as it relates to energy that we're going to talk about today. Energy is really affected by your habits. Right? So how are you sleeping? What type of food are you nourishing your body with? Where's your mindset at? How is your environment? All of those things really play a key role, a crucial role to the amount of energy that you have. You can't pour from an empty tank. And yet most people try to drive their way to success by running on fumes. So replenish your energy. The last one, kind of, at least for me, the part that really pulls all of this together, the catalyst, is the effort. Effort is intensity and consistency combined. You don't need perfection. What you need is persistence. And in fact, since I said it, I got to go into it. Perfection. People are always trying to be perfect. Listen, there was one perfect human on this earth, and he died on the cross to save us from our sins. We can all try to be like Jesus, but we will fall short. Here's another way to take this: perfection. How many times have you written your name? Right? They say that practice makes perfect, or even perfect practice makes perfect, right? I'm going to debunk all that perfect stuff right now. How many times have you written your name? Right? A ton of times, right? Over the course of your life, a bunch of times. Is it perfect? Well, what do I mean by perfect? Well, okay. Does it look the same every single time? If you wrote your name 10 times and you overlaid those on top of each other, are they going to be the exact same? No, we're human. Another way to say, is it going to be perfect? Does it look like it came out of a computer? No, mostly not. I mean, some people do have really immaculate handwriting, but it's not going to be perfect, not going to be like a computer, not consistently every single time. So that means perfect is out. We can all try for perfect, but it's going to be setting us up for failure. So don't strive for perfect. Strive for persistence, right? The effort gap is really what separates the dreamers from the doers. So here's an example. Someone training at 70% effort for 10 years, 70% for 10 years is going to far and away beat that person that does 110% for only 2 weeks, right? 10 years of 70%, they have the persistence. They put in the effort. They put in the reps. Far and away going to be better for that person that took time for 2 weeks. That's all they could do it. So listen, effort is going to be the proof of your belief. Now, how do all these things play together, right? You have time, energy, and effort. How do they work? So I want you to visualize this kind of as a triangle. If one side is weak, the triangle starts to collapse. So if you have time without energy, you're going to be burnt out. You're going to be wasting hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades of your life. If you have energy without time, you're going to have bursts of inspiration, but with no follow through. And if you have energy without rest, you're going to be exhausted. You're not going to be able to improve. Listen, mastery isn't some mystical thing. Mastery really is the alignment of these three things. When these three, time, energy, and effort, when these three things support the same goal consistently, that's where you're going to find mastery. Now, let's do a self-audit, right? I want you to do a self-audit, ask yourself these questions, and then I think that this will help to guide you to where you really need to go in order to have that time, energy, and effort allocated correctly. Here's the first one. Where is my time actually going? We talked about that. Track your time. You do it every hour. You can do it every half hour. You can do it even every 15 minutes if you really wanted to get down to the real little parts. Right? Where is my time actually going? What am I doing that is draining my energy? Right? We all have things that you do, probably habits, even habits that you're doing that you're not even realize that you're doing. You just fall into it because it's part of the day. Those things, lots of times, are really draining or detrimental to where your energy is. Am I putting in consistent effort, focused effort, or am I just dabbling? Right? Because those are different, right? You can put in consistent effort, actually focused effort, and that's far and away different than just dabbling, just trying it. I'm just trying this out. Even the mindset for that is way different. So you got to ask yourself, are you actually putting in the consistent, the focused effort? Or are you just dabbling? You're just trying. It's just to see what's going on. Right? So I encourage you to ask those questions to yourself. And you can make that part of your weekly review. On Sundays, you ask yourself, where's my time? Where did my time actually go this week? What did I do this week that really burned my energy? Am I putting in real effort, or is I just dabbling? Right? Those are questions, super, super easy questions. It won't take you very long. But those questions really, I think, can align you with the type of person who is spending these three resources, that time, the energy, and effort, the correct way to actually get the real benefit out of it. So here are some common leaks on all of these things, okay? Scrolling on social media. That can be a time leak. It can be an energy leak. It can even be an effort leak. That one really can be a catch-all depending on how you're doing that. And the next one is, are you arguing? Are you arguing? Are you in a negative mood? Do you have poor sleep? Of course, all of that's going to lead to a energy leak. If you find yourself starting out strong and then fading quickly, that means you have an effort leak. You got to be able to be persistent, put in the reps over and over again. Improvement starts the moment that you stop lying to yourself about where these resources are actually going to. All right. Application time. I really like application, so let's try to apply this. In fact, we're gonna apply this to fitness. We're gonna apply this to relationship, and we're gonna do this with career and business, right? And the examples I give are just real basic examples, but I want to give you an opportunity to try to think through how you can apply these things to your life as they are right now. So fitness. People often say, I don't really have the time to work out, or I'll work out when I have some extra time. Everybody. I don't know if you know this or not. I might, breaking news to you. Everybody has the same amount of time every single day. We all just allocate our time. We allocate that resource differently. You could choose to wake up a little bit earlier. You can choose to go to bed a little bit earlier. You can choose to, improve your fitness by spending some time, spending some effort, and putting some energy into this. Because if you really wanted to improve this, you will find a way to do it. The reality is everybody has the same amount of time. Maybe you have poor energy, so you need to fix your sleep. Maybe you don't have enough effort, right? So you go to the gym, it's only for 20 minutes because that's all the time you can. Okay, then you need to try to work your schedule around a little bit to try to dedicate a little bit more time there. Time, energy, and effort. If you want to improve, put it in. Relationships. Listen, relationship is a big one. And I go out to dinner with my wife. I see lots of people sitting at the tables. They're both scrolling on their phone. They're sitting at the dinner table together, out at the restaurant together, in public together, but they're just scrolling on their phone. Both people are. Or even worse, you have the whole family that's there. Mom, dad, and all the kids are all on their phone. They're sitting at the same table together, meant to have food and share community, share family time, share communications with each other, talk about their day, whatever it is that they have going on. But instead, they're sucked into those devices that they have. They're just scrolling, right? So if your relationship is failing, maybe you or your partner or your family is not putting enough effort or energy into this. Maybe you're distracted, you're drained, you're only half present. Real connection requires all of these things to happen. You need to put the phones down, have a conversation with somebody, put the effort in. You need to spend time with them. I think it's Jordan Peterson says that a husband and wife need to have about 90 minutes of conversation during the week. Now, it's not 90 minutes all at one time, but 90 minutes over the course of a week. And it needs to be about not, oh, hey, I took the garbage out. I need you to pick up the kids here. Like actual conversation time, not tasks, not lists of things you did or you want the other person to do, but actual conversation time. 90 minutes over the course of a week, I think you could spend that if you really wanted to improve your relationship. Now, career or even business, depending on how, where you are in regarding to those. Time is the amount of hours that you dedicate to that business or to that job. If you want to improve, you need to make sure that you're there. Energy, you need to have the amount of energy that you need that's required to do the job effectively, right? Energy, another way to think about energy is the creativity and problem solving that you bring to that business. How do you create solutions to solve these problems? How do you bring new ideas or creativity to this business? Those are things that really is the key to your energy. And if you used to do that and you're not doing it so much anymore, then you have an energy problem, right? We talked about find out what that energy is, where it's going, where it's getting drained from, and then fix those things. Effort as it relates to business. Effort is following through on the ideas long after the motivation fails. Right? We all have this, oh, great, we're going to try this new thing. And then, 2 weeks later or, the next day or whatever, something else happens and then you're on the next hype wagon. Have the dedication to put the effort in long after that motivation fails. That's what that effort really is. Listen, you can spend your whole life wanting these things to get better. You can visualize about goals. You can talk about goals. You can post all about the goals that you want to have. But improvement doesn't respond to hope. It responds to investment. How are you investing your time, your energy, and your effort? Every single result that you have in your life right now, your health, your skills, your mindset, your relationship, is all the direct reflection of how you spent these three currencies: your time, your energy, and your effort. So if you have the wrong results, it's not a sign that you're broken. Let's break this down. Time, right? Where does your time actually go? Not where do you want it to go, but where does it actually go? As we're wrapping up here, think about that. Where does your time actually go to? Scroll through your calendar. Look at your screen time. Look at your daily routine. All of those things are a mirror to how you're spending your time. You can't improve the thing that you never actually spend time doing. So if you want to improve on something, put the time in to actually improve it. Energy. Have you ever noticed that you feel drained even when the problems that you're facing are small, right? They feel like mountains, right? If you're drained, you have these small problems. They feel like they're so big because you don't have energy. Energy is your fuel. It's the difference between dragging yourself through the day and attacking the day with purpose. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Rest, recover, feed your body, and feed your mind. It's not laziness, it's maintenance for greatness. Effort. Listen, effort is the thing that keeps all of this real. It makes all of this real. It's the discipline to keep showing up long after that motivation fails. The world is full of people who have tried, right? It's full of people who have tried. You might have been one of those people who have tried. Trying once doesn't count. Consistent effort compounds. It's the effort that turns that energy, that time, into mastery. So time and energy, and then all of that leads into the mastery. So here's the truth. If you have something in your life that you want to improve on, give it your time, give it your energy, and give it your effort. You will get better. There's no mystery about this. There's no hack. It's just alignment. If you want to change your life, don't overcomplicate it. Reallocate your time, recharge your energy, and reignite your effort. Because improvement isn't luck, it's math. And if you keep making the right deposits, you'll wake up one day and realize that you have become that person who you've been trying to become the whole time. Hey, listen, I know this episode was a little bit different. If this resonated with you, if you liked this episode, leave me a comment. Let me know that you like this one. And, hey, if this was helpful for you, like, share, and subscribe. Those things mean the world, and they really help the algorithm to make sure this message gets out to other people. Until next time, stay prestigious.